majonzi. Ni mamake Tamara Blessing alilemewa na uchungu wa kumpoteza mwanawe. Susan Wanjiru anasema Tamara alitoweka Jumamosi mwendo wa saa 12 jioni alipokuwa akicheza sokoni ambapo mama yake na nyanyake wanafanya biashara.
Ahlan wa sahlan, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, this is very painful. We are in a society today whereby we are raising a very rotten society. We are raising a very rotten generation. Why am I saying this, ladies and gentlemen? I know by now each and every one of you knows that there is this case of Blessing Tamara and Nicholas Masharia that happened in Nyeri town a few days ago, where this guy raped a 7-year-old kid by the name Blessing Tamara. Ladies and gentlemen, why will you in the first place even rape a 7-year-old kid? Why would you do that? I mean, Nicholas Masharia is a guy who is, by looking, is 30 years and above. Why will you think of doing that to a 7-year-old kid? Hata kama kweli akili zako si kamilifu, akili zako si razini. Why will you do that to a 7-year-old kid? A kid was just joined primary. So we have this case, but it's very painful that this is the only case that we get to know because it's now in the social media platforms, it's in the news, and it's everywhere. Nicholas Masharia's case is the first case that we know because it's in the media. We have very many other cases. We have cases where relatives sleep with their relatives, you know, an uncle sleeps with a nephew, you know. But we don't know. These cases have been masked in the society by our elders in the community, uko mashambani, mashinani, because it's so embarrassing, you know, reporting an uncle sleeping with a niece, you know, reporting a cousin sleeping with a fellow cousin. So these are cases that are in our society. But the first case that we know that has shaken the entire country is Nicholas Masharia's case. Before we think otherwise about Nicholas Masharia and Blessing Tamara's case, I think the best idea at this juncture is to think about our society. This is just the case that we know, and each and every person wants to raise an eyebrow on Nick Masharia. I'm not saying that I want to support him or something, but I'm just thinking of such cases now, like in the entire country, where people sleep with their cousins, you know, an elder sleeps with such a young kid. But yet, we all understand very well that we have sex workers in each and every city in this country who are doing these jobs, and so that for those who are in need or for those who want to deal with their dry spell, they can always pay, you know, a few coins or a penny to get a sex. So it raises a lot of questions. It raises an alarm in the society. Why do we have such cases? But yes, yet nature has provided each and everything at our disposal. We have prostitutes, we have sex workers in the entire city who are doing this to men who are in need of this. So before we think otherwise about Baby Tamara and Nick, we should reflect back to our society as a people to see where this stems from. Is it about our upbringing? Is it about our morals? Is it about a psychological gap that has been created to men due to their, you know, to their times, their childhood, and even when they grew to be adults? Because remember, most of us, you know, we grew up with such guardians and parents who are very lazy in terms of their responsibility. They don't ask questions. They don't ask questions to their kids. They don't make a follow-up so that their kids are groomed well, so that people are groomed well to know that this is not right, this is right. So it is time that we should gather up as a society, as a people from different communities, Mijikenda, Kikuyu, Kamba, Luo, and all other communities that are in this country. We should gather up and see where is it all stemming up from. If it is morals, if it is values, if it is about a psychological gap, then you as a parent, You as a guardian, what have you done to your children to ensure that they grow upright? Because for such an elder to sleep with such a young kid, Nick Amasharia sleeping with Blessing Tamara, who is just 7 years old. Yes, it should be, there might be mental issues, there might be, a psychological gap, there might be issues that are coming, but how do they come over to attack such a generation, or our generation of our times? Because we should not just be throwing blame games to Nick Masharia. We have many other cases of the same sort. Where is this all stemming from? Where is it stemming from? Why would such happen in the society? Have we asked questions to our elders, to our parents, to our guardians? How are we raising our kids? How are we raising this generation to ensure that we grow well, we know that which is good, that which is immoral, that which is not expected in the society? Gone are the days when we had cultures. Gone are the days when we had follow-ups. Gone are the days that we had issues that were bad omen in our communities, in our society. Nowadays, we don't follow up such cultures. We don't follow up such protocols. Guys are just going up in the city, misbehaving, doing things that are not needed. But if you reflect back to our elders, our uncles and our grandparents, they used to follow such protocols. This and this is not needed. This and this is not needed, just to instill discipline to the society. Nowadays, we don't follow such cultures. That's why you'd see people just mingling anyhow, people just doing things, because now the world has spoken. We have cultures, we're borrowing cultures from outside this continent, bringing them in this country. So no one wants to question. The government is not questioning. People are not, just checking out and seeing what is this that is not in our African setup.